Hello, Justin here again, Wheelchair Fit, Lacey Wheelchair Fitness. Today I'm going to talk about pull-ups. Pull-ups are one of the best upper body exercises they are. It's been called the upper body squat by a lot. The reason why it's such a great movement is it's a closed chain movement. Closed chain movements are anytime you're moving your body towards a fixed object. So let's say, for pull-ups, dips, push-ups, even the squat, your hands in those upper body movements are stationary, and you're either pushing your body away from your hands or pulling your body towards your hands. They're just the most effective way. The body is meant to do this. You can't trick thousands and thousands of years of evolution. It's movements the body was meant to do, and they're very natural, and body performs very well with them. And so it's not just a great movement for people in a wheelchair, it's also for able-bodied people as well. But in the wheelchair case, I'm going to show some of the tricks that I've learned over the years. Make sure you keep yourself secure, how to keep your chair secure. You see some people have videos out there in wheelchairs, and they'll actually pull their chairs up with them. They'll fasten themselves through a seatbelt or other mechanism to the chair and pull themselves up. Not a huge fan of this movement. I've tried that in the past. The chair, it's tricky. The chair kind of moves on you a lot. It's pulling weight down. I think there's safer ways to add weight, maybe harnessing around your neck as opposed to really pulling down on your shoulders like that. But the biggest problem I have is it was really difficult to consistently get a good landing spot when you were done with the pull-ups. And so people that do those movements and feel very safely doing it, more power to you. I'm just going to show you how I keep my chair secure. I keep myself kind of locked in it, and then I just pull myself through the air into the bar. Another reason why pull-ups are great is the back is going to should be your major movement in it. Your biceps are going to work, your forearms, your grip. It's going to hit a lot. It's everything that does a pull in your upper body is going to be engaged. It makes it a great movement. As far as grips, I prefer for the heaviest. I prefer the supinated or the pronated grip. I am not a fan of the underhand grip for pull-ups whatsoever, especially as you get wider. If you can do it really narrow, then that one seems to be a little bit fine. But anything where my hands are facing your face, over time, it really kills your wrists. I don't even do them anymore. So I prefer going this way with your palms facing away from your face, or the other one is the neutral grip. And I'll show a quick little trick you can do at the gym to be able to safely do those as well. So I'm going to get into showing exactly how I set up. So the first thing I make sure I do is, because us wheelers, our legs will spaz. So I got to make sure that I lock my legs in, and I buy these straps. They're just loading straps. You can get like at Home Depot. I think I got like 4 of them for about $10, $15. But I use these for a lot of things at the gym. One of the great ones is to secure myself to things and secure my legs. So I'm going to first get my legs all tied in. And a couple other little tricks when you do this. So this is going to be, your legs are probably going to ram into this strap. And what that's going to do is your pants are going to get wedged in there. Assuming you're wearing pants and not shorts. You're going to want to pull your pants up above that a little bit, otherwise there's a good chance your pants could come right down as you do a pull-up, and that if you're in a gym setting and not in a private setting, that can be a little embarrassing. And so another little thing I want to show here is that it's going to be difficult to see probably, but I have weights on the ground here. Let me get out of the way quick. And so I do have locks on my wheelchair, and they work, but sometimes as you're doing pull-ups, and especially if you get into more advanced, you're starting to add weight through plates around your neck or however you want to add additional weight. I found that to keep my chair in a consistent location, so when I'm done, I land and I don't have any worries about my chair not being there. I also usually at the gym, I'll use 25s. These are 25s on the ground here as well. And once I get myself all set in the proper spot in the bar, then I'll adjust those 25s on my front wheel, so it kind of gives them an extra blocker. It's just an extra little security blanket to make sure I'm doing it. Just a couple of pointers. When you're loading yourself up, or how you get the bar up there. So at a gym setting, you can do these. The best spot to do these for a person in a wheelchair, in my view, is the Smith machine, because it's really easy to adjust up and down the Smith machine. It's on the sliders. You can go up, and my recommendation for pull-ups is however far you can get one arm up, that's where you want to go. So you want to be able to reach it, because you can always, to load yourself, you're going to grab with one arm and then kind of start pulling your body up and grab the second arm, and then you can adjust your width once you feel cleanly on the bar. So a couple pointers as you're doing the movement. Once you get yourself in there and you're locked in, when you're pulling, you want to think of pulling your body through the ceiling. You want to try to explode through the bar. And as you're lowering yourself, you got to make sure you keep your shoulders back as you get to the bottom. What a lot of people do when they do pull-ups, they have a tendency to kind of really almost their shoulders kind of come out of their sock a little bit. You want to make sure you keep that tight back. So when you're coming back, you want to get to the bottom so it's in a fully stretched movement, but you don't want to let those shoulders slide up. You want to keep those shoulders back. And then as you're doing the movement, as you're pulling yourself up, you're pulling yourself through the ceiling, you want to make sure you're thinking about your lats doing the work. So you want your back, you really want to think about your back doing it. Your biceps should not be a primary mover for pull-ups, at least not on the hands of the palms facing away from the face grip. So now that I got my legs loaded, I'm now going to set up. And another trick is, our tip is wear gloves. If you're a wheeler doing these, anything with the barbell, I don't have gloves right now because I'm just going to go through a couple sets of these. I mean, I want to make it easier to see where my hands were. The gloves would blend in a little bit, but as wheelers, our hands get beat the heck. Our everyday wheeling, transferring, when we get into the gym, everything is upper body. So when you start using the barbell, it is going to tear apart your hands. So make sure you use gloves. Just trust me. Okay, so I'm going to get myself set up. You're going to want, when you're thinking about these, it's going to be kind of hard to see. When you get the bar set up, think of the bar should probably be right around between mid-thigh to your knee. You don't want to go you don't want that bar setting yourself up way back here, because then you're going to have such a great distance between your body and the bar. Your chair is going to tip all over the place. It's why I don't like doing the other method of securing the chair to me and going up all over the place, because the chair sometimes will hand face first, and then it's a little tricky getting back down. And it all going to depend on where your injury is. My injury is right around here, so I don't have a lot of trunk control. Really, everything is kind of by my arms, so I can't really wiggle that chair as some people might be able to. So you kind of want to set up the spot where the bar is right around here, and you look up and you feel like you're in a good spot, and then I adjust the weights to be under the wheels, and then I'm ready to rip it. So I'm going to go ahead now. So right now the bar is right around where I said it was, just between my knees and mid-thigh. I have brakes on my chair so I can lock in, and then move the weights onto the wheels like that. And start with gripping it with one hand, the other hand comes up, and I like to adjust just wire and shoulder width. As I'm at the bottom, really think about keeping those shoulders back. As you get up to the top, think of a squeeze. And then done. And even then, all those things I was worried about my chair and still moved into zone. So it's the chair. You're going to want to do as many things as you can to secure the chair, because it has a mind of its own. Especially if you do more explosive movements or you're really trying to go really high. That chair can go all over on you. So that's the main pull movement. I prefer wider than shoulder width. The width, it's really dependent on what feels best. The wider you go, the more it's going to kind of go up the lats and what's going to get hit. So one other way I'm going to show. I'm going to move the weights out of the way. So this is one of the best ones. It's kind of a gym hack for us wheelers. But if you want to be able to do a neutral grip, so as you can see, now you won't be able to see, the video doesn't show it. But, so what I like to do is I like to grab, you'll see this by the lat machines. Every gym has them. You want the one that's a perfect triangle. Perfect triangle will lock in on the bar, as you'll see in a second here. But I have one that's more rounded, and that one hit my head, and that was an interesting day. So anyways, so what this is going to do, this is going to tweak the movement a little bit. It's going to make your hands in a neutral grip. It's going to work your forearms and arms a little bit more. But it's a nice mix-up, gives you another way to go about doing it, and just keeps the workout fun. Again, it's still pull-up, so it's still an amazing movement. If you have any problems with your wrists hurting from this kind of a grip or this kind of a grip, which I don't recommend, then the neutral grip is always the safest grip. Same type of deal. Hold this up here. I need to slide this back. And one advantage of this is that your chair doesn't kind of lock in place because the cage is in the way. But I'm just going to show a couple like this. So this one's a little easier to fold up. And this one you can really feel the bicep squeezing. As you get up there, it's going to be similar to like very heavy hammer curls, which are extremely great for building up your biceps. You just want to do what feels right. If a grip doesn't feel right, stop doing it. If this hurts, don't do it. I mean, this is going to hurt. If this hurts, stop doing it. Neutral. If neutral hurts, might be something more wrong. Neutral grip is always kind of considered the safest grip. Is kind of the natural spot when you're trying to do that pull up. Again, I think pull-ups are one of the best exercises that you can do. For us wheelers, I think it's the best exercise, this and dips. It's very effective. Getting stronger at pull-ups is going to allow you to be able to do things like do advanced transfers. Maybe you want to get a pickup and not be stuck in just a car. A pickup, you're really going to be grabbing something to pull yourself up. Being strong at pull-ups is going to enable things like that. Some other tips. There is ways to add weight. I'll probably do another video to show how I add weight for dips and pull-ups. I still use the straps and basically jerry rig up, and I also have a weight vest that I put on as well that's able to safely add weight, and you can kind of keep tearing that weight up. And one final thing, I am a big fan of pull-ups. I am not a big fan of lat pull-downs. You see a lot of people at the gym do lat pull-downs. Even some really big, strong guys at the gym are wasting their time with lat pull-downs. They can't even do a pull-up. People like to do lat pull-downs because they can cheat the weight. It looks good. The stack makes a lot of noise. It makes them tough. They feel like they can squeeze it throughout. My problem with lat pull-down is not a natural movement. It's you're pulling very heavy weight with resistance onto your head. In what real-world setting would you want to purposely pull something from a top shelf or something down onto your head? It's more of a pushing movement to hold it from crushing your skull as opposed to pulling it as hard as you possibly can into your face. Just not a fan. Pulling yourself up with added weight is a better, more natural movement, and it's definitely my preference. Please give a like, give a subscribe, check out my website, Instagram, Twitter, Lacey Wheelchair Fitness, @WheelchairFit. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon.